change makes a huge difference. Yes, the past 6 days of faculty development program with different specimens of topic will lead to a huge, massive change for our records. The last and final today's the day 7. And new knowledge and new thing for today is about journal selection mechanism for free publication. And yes, today's speaker for the session is Dr. Y. Lokeshwara Chowdhury, sir. He is in the field of assistant professor and research supervisor for PG and Research Department of Commerce from Government Arts and Science College, Nandanam. He had 24 years of teaching experience all over Chennai, and today he's here to share his research about today's topic, journal selection mechanism. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am, for that nice and good and kind words. And good afternoon, participants. And I think there are 89 participants are there. That means during the 6 days or 7 days with this much crowd is itself a biggest achievement. Congratulations to the organizers. And let us move on to the short and sweet presentation on maybe how do you select a good journal, or how do you today if you look at any journal of UGC Carlish or maybe Scopus Index or Web of Science, these journals normally they charge a huge amount. Whether they charge or not, there are predatory journals which similarly looks like a cloned journals and which are generally charging high. And why this scenario has come? This scenario is because sometime back the UGC thinks that in the new education policy 2020, they incorporated a component called as publications as a mandatory for research, and 2 publications in the Scopus Index or 4 publications in the UGC Carlish journals. This concept of asking for some kind of journals for the purpose of submission of the thesis or submission of the synopsis, etc., made everyone to run behind the journals. And irrespective of whether it is a quality journal and what is its impact factor and whether this journal can able to give some amount of mileage in my career or not, and they never looked at that aspect, and no, everyone for the purpose of just submission. And to my knowledge, till today, there are hundreds of students awaiting for submission of the synopsis and thesis at Periyar University, Bharatiyar University, and some of the private universities in and around Chennai. And now in the latest regulation of the UGC says that, no, I think when we are going with this rule called as publications is mandatory, many people are no are the victims of that. Because of that, they are unable to submit their research work even after completion of 1 year, no, etc. So that is the reason why they took a decision that, and no, we will drop that idea, and it is not mandatory to publish a research. And why that hype has come for the publications and research is this. And even before that, there is no publications at all. Yes, there are focus towards publication all along. The Indian higher educational institutions are looking teaching as a profession, and wherein which the teaching will be how good you can able to teach a particular subject, how much percentage of pass percentage, or maybe how many people can able to get a benefit out of it. In that angle it was there. The culture of America, culture of maybe Western universities or maybe American universities, Australian universities, there the rule is either you publish or perish. And whether you want to be in the field, you need to publish a good journals and along with your regular teaching. That makes a lot of sense in terms of both science teachers. It makes a lot of sense because in science each and every day they do a lot of practicals, and they do a lot of some amount of work on either chemical reactions or maybe physiological reactions or maybe biological reactions, etc. And it is not so the case in case of social sciences. Without understanding that concept, and we are more focused towards something we need to publish, that should be recognized. All these things we were in the mess. And later, what happened is, at some point of time, way back in 2020, 2002, 2003, when in the year 2000, 2001, 2002 itself, very few guides are available, and no people use it to publish papers only in the limited number of journals which are having the double blind review, and the review process is critical. Once in 6 months only they publish, etc. That means even before this rule of publication making as a mandatory for research, usually the university level people are research used to restrict it to only university level. Now only the research concept come to the colleges level. Initially there won't be any guides in the colleges. Only some people, somebody will be there as a guide in the university or in a reputed college. That is the how, and number of publications, what they are publishing, nobody bothers. But at the same time, the quality of publications was there. And banking and finance, maybe Indian Institute, Indian Journal of Marketing, Indian Journal of Finance, okay, Indian Journal of International Trade. And after that, in way back in 2004 and 5, and then is another university came to India called as ICFA University. And ICFA Business School, ICFA University, they are the ones who rigorously promoted the concept of publications, and they had more than 2 dozens of journals, and each and every field: journal of risk management, journal of insurance, journal of finance, journal of marketing, journal of entrepreneurship, subject wise journals instead of subject, course wise journals, each and every subject. I mean to say, course means insurance is a course, risk management is a course, like that, course wise. And the programs in for marketing related, maybe a half a dozen: brand management, journal of advertising, journal of international marketing, like that. Within the marketing they made money, and within the finance they made many journals. Within the, oh, they established. What happened when they established all these many journals, and the people started thinking there is something which we need to publish our work, so that people can recognize our contributions, our familiarity in the subject, so that we will be placed in a better place. That is how the people who are started publishing in the year 2000, 2001 to 2007 and 8, majority of them, it is true to some extent. I too believe that. And whenever before 2005, when you published and having a good number of publications, in the year 2007, first recruitment of TRB, many people enter into the government service. Later, many people enter into the central universities, newly established universities, or central government universities, newly established institutions, or the state universities. So once more people started thinking, yes, publications is mandatory if you want to go for the university setup, or if you want to select for the government employment. When the government employment is an appeal for everyone, and thereby majority of the chunk of the people, why I should not do research? Before that, there are professors only with MCom and MPhil and working in a government college also started registering for PhD programs, and then they started writing something. Okay, this area I am good, I can able to contribute something, and that is how the demand for the journals is increased. And after 2010, the craze of 2010, 13, no, another wave has come in the name of MBA. 2005 to 2012 or 13, MBA colleges. There are many MBA colleges, people working in arts and science colleges, in the Department of Commerce, Department of Corporate Secretaryship, etc., economics, etc. They started moving or maybe migrating from arts college setup to the MBA college setup, wherein which MBA colleges are offering much lucrative salary when compared to arts and science colleges in 2010. That is how, that is the same time in which many deemed universities started MBA program, having 10 batches, 12 batches, 20 batches. Now how we are having the for BCom admissions. Similarly, there is a craze for MBA once upon a time. That point of time, in the selection process of a professor or an assistant professor to an MBA college or for a MBA in MBA department, people looking at, do you have publications? Are you good at research? These questions are started. Now, the second wave or second hype created for journals and research is that. And thereby, the first wave towards the government jobs, the second wave towards the publication of MBA, entering into the MBA colleges or MBA standalone institutions. Like there are many Indian Institute of Knowledge Management and IMTS. There are many big schools has come, and along with that, the deemed universities like SRM, Satyabama, Crescent, many institutes are promoting the concept of research to a greater extent. From 2016 onwards, people started identifying for research. It is mandatory. That is what they started. And till 2021, the same Hangama has promoted. And in 2022, the government has taken a decision that, and our UGC notified that research publication is not mandatory to submit a research. So in three phases, journals are giving life in terms of many people attracting towards publication. Is one is in 2007 TRB batches or 2008 and 2009 batches, there is a weightage for publications in the selection process of marks that gave a hike. And in 2012 to maybe around 16 or 17, MBA colleges gave a hype for research and publication. And after 2016, the rule called as publication is mandatory for submission of the thesis or a synopsis. I think, are you clear that from where we started and why this hype came for publications? Since it is an afternoon session, one or two people can comment on this. Sir, what you say is correct or what you said is not correct. Any reflections on that, please? One or two. Are we going in the right track?
Yes, sir.
Are you audible?
Yes,
What
yes.
speaking you can able to listen clearly?
Okay, sir. Okay, clearly.
Yes, sir. Is it correct? Whatever I said is correct, and why the publications has given lot of importance?
Your question is going to right way, sir.
Yes, sir. Very
Very
much
good.
correct, sir.
Yes. Now, after 2020, what happened? The corona took 3 years or maybe 2.5 years. Entire institutions are shut down and publications are gone out of the market. And the UGC new regulation has brought in. Now, in this scenario, how to identify a good journal who will publish my piece of original research work and without any charges. That is what the question now. Now the question is that this is correct, but I will like to ask one question here is many publications are ready to publish the research work of a original research work. Do you have the manuscript? Today what is happening even in the MBA thesis or MBA project work or MPhil dissertations or master maybe PhD thesis, we will cut and paste something. We'll do use Grammarly and then some change we do it in the sentence formation and then we submit. And to our surprise, I know that many students who prepares a paper not even read from sentence one to sentence again and then they submit. They don't read it. They don't even read once. If you ask 10 questions from their own publication, their own journal paper submitted for publication, they don't know. Is it like that, sir? There are a couple of papers or journals or maybe came to me for some review papers will come. Whenever I ask, sir, why do you numbering of the you table number 1 is there, then table number 8 is there, then table number 16 is there. And at least you could have been that could have been taken from your PhD work and not even numbered properly. Table number 1, then table number 8, then table number 17, then table 24. Because somebody could have been told that 4 tables should be there or 5 tables should be there. Some analytical work or statistical work should be there in order to get published. Yes, statistics they may expect. Statistics itself is not a concept. And thereby, what are the fundamental mistakes we do is we don't prepare the original manuscript. That is the number one. Number two is you copy it. There is nothing wrong in copying, but at the same time, bring it to your tune. Somebody could have been done, gold price rates in India, and the same thing. The reasons could be our investment preferences of and investment behavior, investment preferences, or normal consumer behavior towards durables, FMCG, or branded products and high value products, etc. You can do, but at the same time, when you are doing for high value products or durable products and consumer behavior towards only the durable products, you take it. In that paper, don't add anything which is related to consumer behavior towards what you called as FMCG, consumer behavior towards investment behavior, all this. When you say consumer behavior, any paper which comes under that category, they are including, they are bringing it and then adding in the review of literature part. And when you look at in a paper of 8 or 9 reviews are there, 5 reviews or 6 reviews are not related to your work and only 2 or 3 related to your work. Then why unnecessarily you add another 5? The another 5 which also leads to, it will inferior the quality of your publication. In addition to that, it will also improve the plagiarism. Now after 2020, there is a new concept called as plagiarism. The plagiarism percentage should be less than 5%, less than 10%. Even universities had made their practice or made a rule that the plagiarism percentage should be less. And thereby, when you want to publish in a good journal, the first criteria is write yourself, read yourself once at least. Take the printout, prepare the paper, take the printout, read it. In the first reading itself, we will identify these are the unnecessary data. I don't think this will add some value to my manuscript. Then you remove it. Then second time when you go by checklist. What is a checklist? How many reviews I have included exactly related to my study, or how many reviews I have included exactly related to my study in the recent past. Somebody could have been a paper in 1987, 1994. Yes, 1994 entire scenario is different before economic reforms, but today the scenario is entirely different. And contemporary nature of the paper is you try to include any review or any observation, any finding of different study or from the recent past that will have a lot of value addition to you. And thereby the second point checklist is we need to include the recent review of literature and exactly related to our some maybe exactly related to our topic. That is the second checklist. Going to the third checklist. What is the third checklist which we need to look at is go to the analysis part in the methodology part. We'll speak methodology first. In the methodology, and you somewhere in the same paper, in the abstract, somebody have written the present paper followed a descriptive methodology. And in part 3, in review of maybe research methodology part, they have written this research followed applied research methodology. In the same paper, prepared by yourself, part 1 says descriptive, part 3 says hybrid research or applied research, etc. Then that itself indicates that it is not your work, it is a cut and copy work. And thereby be very shrewd about fixing the methodology. That methodology part whenever you are doing, and there are 2-3 things which you need to be carefully designed is how do you determine the sample size? What is the method of sample you adopted? What is the research design you followed in this? How do you derive at a particular number of sample? These things which makes a lot of sense in terms of methodology, but all other things you leave it about, there are 3 things in methodology. What type of research design I followed? Number 2, what is my target sample? And what is 3? And my target sample is, how do you derive that number? Quantity. In order to quantify how much quantification I should do, how many people I have selected. While selecting, select the targeted means. If you are doing a maybe jewelry, or maybe jewelry means select the woman. Then woman means who is woman? 18 years to 45 years or 55 years, everyone is woman. Who is the productive age group? We did a study on women's reproductive health. Women's reproductive health means how do you define a woman? How do you, that topic itself a complicated topic, reproductive health, asking the woman, no, what are the problems you are facing in the reproduction health? Then identifying the right target people. Where do you met? How do you convince them to give data? All those will be very, very important. And hence, whenever you are going for such methodology part, and please focus on your methodology should be the life. Your methodology should be the heart of your paper, and your methodology should not go wrong at any point of time. The next one is, as we said, go to the analysis part. In analysis, usually your analysis based on your research data collected. And the research data tool, when we are collecting, what happens is some of the papers which I observed, first question male or female, and then age will be there. Then maybe number of children or maybe dependents will be there. Dependent means whether the elderly dependents or the children, or number of children will be there. Somebody's paper I have seen, or maybe many papers which we are observing in the while coming for review purpose. Some of the journals they use it to send for review, and review observation is the respondent ticked male or female. Male, age 18 years, number of dependents 5. 5 means he could have been taken as an entire family. 18 years boy, probably he could be unmarried. And at the same time, 5 dependents means father and mother can be taken, 2 brother and sister can be taken, and who else will be there? And wife will be there. And in what way this, whether, and thereby, whether your analysis when you are going for, don't give more questions related to personal demographics. Personal demographics give only limited number of personal demographics. And age and income, age and maybe household number of dependents. Somebody take unmarried. Do you have children? Yes. Unmarried, how do you have children? And thereby, then that cross aspects you need to look at, because whenever you are collecting the data, for you it is important. For a respondent who is responding, is not at all. No, don't think that why I should. Okay, for the namesake, you could have been put the tick mark here and there, and that automatically leads to data data failure, data errors. These data errors, which will also deteriorate your paper quality, and the degree of maybe plagiarism. In addition to that, image of you and your guide, or you already as a professor independently are writing a paper, and the second time or third time the same sort of observations are recommended or written by a reviewer, which will be leading to blacklisting of those authors, and thereby generally you don't go for such scenario. And thereby what I suggest is, and thereby whenever you are preparing the research designs, 1 minute please. Whenever you are preparing any paper or research work or maybe analysis work, make sure that that analysis will give you some amount of clarity, some amount of originality. When the data is not perfect, and the entire your work will go in vain. This is the other thing. Then identifying and writing the findings. How do you write your findings? And whenever you are interpreting your data, you compare your data with the nearest review of literature papers. In your paper, you could have been written as that, in my observation, there are only 30 to 32 years of age group of people prefer to buy a house in Chennai, and the same result you can compare with. This is exactly in coordination with, in alignment with the findings of the research work done by X, or research work done by Yamini 2021, or maybe some other year somebody could have been done. And that is where your research have some value. That means your research findings is in alignment with the other contemporary research works or not. If somebody could have been told that in Bangalore city somebody did a research where in which the youth in the age group of 28 to 30 years are preferred to go for the multi-story apartments rather than the independent villas. And it is exactly different from, and thereby in terms of age and purchasing power is better in Bangalore city when compared to the Chennai city. These findings will have a lot of interpretation, and thereby instead of findings you go for more interpretation of your research work. This could help in terms of getting published, and originality will improve, and your language skills, your own sentences you bring in, and thereby that can help in terms of publishing a good journal. And these are the precautions should be taken while you are. And coming to the references, some references just cut and paste, 10 references should be there, and 15 references should be there, generally people will do. Don't do that one, and thereby whatever the sources used in your journal, you have used it for 8 review of literatures, or you have compared 4 papers with findings with your findings, then you do 8 plus 4 or a 9 plus 2, that will be more than enough. And it is not that if we are quoting more number of references, then the value of your paper will not increase. Instead, they will get more citations because their paper you have included in your paper references list, and thereby the person or maybe a author who got they will be getting the more weightage than you. And thereby, are you working for you or you are working for somebody else recognition? And thereby these are the points to be kept in mind while writing a research paper. Now we are coming to the topic given to me in a short and sweet, and how do you identify a journal which is free to publish, journal which is high quality impact or maybe impact with a higher impact factor, or journal which can able to publish at the speed at which I am expecting within 2 months, within 3 months, etc. While selecting a journal, what you should do is you should select a journal which has monthly frequency or bi-monthly frequency or quarterly frequency. If the journals which are having a biannual, annual, automatically it will take time to publish. And quality expectations also high in terms of that journals. The second journals, processing fees payment. There is nothing wrong in payment of the processing fees, but at the same time, how much? That big. That suppose you are publishing a paper of 8 pages and they are asking around 20,000. Is it worth to publish our greater work by paying 8 pages by paying 20,000? No. Processing fees should be right. Processing fees could have been somewhere in between 5,000 to maximum maybe 3,000 to 5,000. It should not be more than that. Or I don't think that in India, any one of the journals which are charging more than 5,000 as a processing fees or more than 7,000, unless it is a commercial journal. If it is a commercial journal, generally they will charge more. Or there are many journals which issue within a month, they issue volume 1, volume 2, volume 3. That is purely commercial. By nature itself, we can understand that when they say within a month, how many volumes you publish? No. And any journal which is of quality in nature will publishes only 1 volume per period. They don't publish 2 volumes, 3 volumes, 4 volumes. That makes a lot of nonsense in terms of that means you are trying to making the compromising on quality, and you are commercializing on quantity, and thereby we should not select a journal of such kind. And there are some journals which are cloned journals. Cloned journal means a similar name will be there, and generally one journal is a Novimer journal. Novimer is published in French language, whereas in India it is published in English language. No. And thereby that is there in the UGC list also. Cloned journal, usually you don't select it, and that will be better. And whenever your journal paper is a open journal, open source journal, charges will be free. When the open source journal asking for money means automatically you can say that it is a fraudulent journal. And thereby whenever you are selecting a paper to publish, and try to go for open source journal, Try to go for a journal which will not publish more than 2 volumes or maybe more than 1 volume per period, and journals which have the frequency of monthly and bi-monthly and quarterly, it will be good. And second criteria to select identify a good journal is a journal started by maybe somebody from Tirunnaikapuram, somebody no. The journal should run by an institute, an university, or in a well-established institute. You send a paper to that. Let it take. Okay, Punjab, maybe Punjab University School of Management. Yes, yearly once only they publish, or maybe quarterly once only publish. Let it publish. That will be good. And if you are in urgency, then what we should do is, and you should send the same paper with slight modification for 2 journals, and the journal which publishes earlier immediately, or if the acceptance comes immediately, you write, you maintain a notebook, and you also write to the other journal, sir, this paper is sent to you, and but at the same time this was already selected in some other journal, and hence we were withdrawing. Now please withdraw my manuscript from publication process. That right you have at every time, because since you are the original author. And thereby, whenever you go for journal publications, please be careful. You prepare yourself, you maintain certain ethics of publication, and you select the best journal from open source, or the journals run by the institutions which will not publish many volumes per period. And it may take some time, and have good follow-up of whatever the paper you send. Once you send a paper, just write to the editor stating that no, generally any good journal, as soon as you submit a paper, they will send the manuscript number and reference ID. If they are not sending, means immediately they said that your paper is accepted and you pay this much, means that is a fraudulent journal. And first reference ID they should give, and identification identifier should be have. We have certain things to be fixed for any good journal. A good journal should have a reference ID, digital identifier number, all those. If these things are available, then we can call that particular journal is a good journal. I think this the open source journals you can go. The journals may be run by the public institutions, maybe Indian Institute of Finance, Indian Institute of Public Enterprise, Indian Institute of Public Enterprise, or maybe Indian Institute of Finance, or any university in India which is established as per the UGC Act, any university or institution established as per the regulations of the state government, or no, that type of you go for that. Don't go for some journal, sun journals, moon journals, star journals. All this is nonsense. That I don't think that we will have some value addition for that, and thereby while selecting the journals, we should follow these things. I think this is what which I would like to share it with all of you, and maybe another maybe 10 minutes of time, whatever the clarifications or maybe any doubts which you have, we can clarify. I think I will stop here, and now you can ask anything which you want to clarify, and any other thing which you want to discuss, please. Is it okay, madam? Yes.
So thank you for valuable information here in this presentation. I'm Mukul Pandey from Jamshedpur Arkajan University.
Yes, sir. Please,
sir. Some of the journals takes very little time, and they get published, but they charge something.
Yes.
Is it viable to go for those?
No, that is what. Once more, you look at the ICFI journals. ICFI used to publish a monthly journal. If you are sending a paper for a marketing journal, if suppose if it is on branding, they themselves classify. They will no, you have sent for marketing journal. It will come under the journal purview of branding. We are publishing in branding. There is nothing wrong. But who runs the journal? How many volumes per month? How much they are charging? I said, exorbitant charging of pay 25,000. I will publish tomorrow itself. Is it worth to publish?
Not at all.
Yeah, 25,000 rupees is, for many people, it is a monthly salary. To know, I know about the industry, education industry especially. Correct. And thereby, exorbitant charging and commercializing is that which we need to be very, very careful. When they are charging, accepting within a day, good. But at the same time, at what cost? At the cost of your quality of paper, or at the cost of your money, hard-earned money? So that is where we need to be very, very careful about journals selection and publication.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Please. Any other thing, please? Yes. Umapati sir, Nimla madam.
So it's very informative, sir. Very useful to us.
Okay.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Organizers, if any other question is there, or hello? Sir, shall I leave it from the meeting? Thank you, participants, for your kind approach and listening to me for quite a long time, for 30 to 35 or 40 minutes. And with this, I will end. Sorry, I'm unable to spend a lot of maybe another maybe 10 to 20 minutes of time with you. I have some other important meeting. And I think with this, I will end up my meeting and I will leave. I think you can share among yourselves, and maybe I think other resource person will be joining and to share his ideas. And you also exchange yourself and have good list. And I will forward the good list of journals to the organizer, Umapati sir. And then in turn, you can able to get it from here, and then that list can able to help to identify a good journal and to publish in a better manner. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. This time to give a vote of thanks. A very good evening, one and all present here. It is great privilege and honor to be called upon to propose vote of thanks. I would like to thank our chief guest, Dr. Y. Logeshwara Chaudhary, Assistant Professor and Research Supervisor, PG Research Department of Commerce, Government Arts and Science College for Men, Nandanam, for his inspiring speech in today's FDP session. I also like to thank our Secretary Sir, Professor in charge Sir, Principal Sir, and the coordinators for providing continuous support and motivation to conduct this program. Last but not least, I wish to thank the faculties of various departments, HODs, student and the technical team for their support and coordination. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a nice time. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much for your valuable time, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.